Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. This platform was built by Sparkies for Sparkies. We simply exist to make business owners more profitable, or businesses more profitable and more predictable. So we want to work with people that work hard because we love working hard too, that work smart because you got to be on top of the business, people that are kind because no one likes a dickhead. Am I right? People who want results because that's what we're here for, right? And people who want to be part of a like-minded community. So if you're interested in hearing more about the platform, please reach out and enjoy the podcast.
Sparky Coach Lounge Room Pod. Welcome along. Got myself Cam here, and we've got our guest, the great, the one, the only Joe Pratt from Benchmark Electric Co. Is that right? Is that the
CO.
Very
because we couldn't register Benchmark Electrical.
Benchmark Electrical and Son or Sons or whatever. So anyway, or daughters, whatever it is. So that's okay. So welcome, Joey. Thanks for coming along again and joining me. Welcome to everyone who's listening out there and having a wonderful day, whatever you're doing. Whether you're driving around, whether you're fitting off a switchboard, whether you're doing a gym session. Shout out to AEC in Adelaide. Loves a gym session to the Sparky Coach pod. Wanted to have a bit of a conversation to start with around some tools, Joey, today, because I think tools are really important. There's probably more tools than ever available out there on the market as well in regards to availability and in regards to range also too. If I even go back just my 20 odd years in the industry, if you went to the tool shop, it was quite specific to almost the trade sense. Obviously there's an element of crossover in certain areas, but it was quite specific. Whereas now I feel like there's a real broad, and I guess this is the beauty of
the range is huge.
The beauty of the internet, and not only that too, brands and so types. So instead of being, let's just call it 3 or 4 types of screwdrivers, for example, there's probably 20 different options that you can get. There's the online world as well, and it rolls into that space. So diving into the toolbox, sort of, let's start with what do you deem as some essentials to begin with, and where do you think we're going to have a bit of let's dive into it a bit around this. So what are the essentials, and what if we're looking at it in a what should we spend some money on as well too? So like, hey, is it worthwhile spending the money on those set of screwdrivers, or is it not? So I'd be really interested to have a chat around sort of what tools you deem essential, and where you think some money should be directed in spending those tools. And it's all going to be subjective. It's all personal. It's all a bit of fun, but any feedback we'd love to hear. Drop comments on our socials or drop comments on the YouTube, whatever you want to do, because could talk about this for hours. But Joey, I hand over to you. What are your thoughts around the tool side of thing?
I think there's 2 sides to the lot of range. When you had a small amount of range, you could limit your money.
Yeah.
Now there's such a large range of style, availability, and brands. It's quite easy to spend a week's wage very quickly, especially when you start going on the online stuff. Like when you start looking at the unique tools based around different things. Yes. But for me, essentials screwdrivers, obviously. The biggest one for me is those slimline screwdrivers, the ones that have the insulation the whole way, not the little bump. Coming in, I found them amazing when they came out. When was that about? When did they start appearing? I think Wheel was the first one to bring them out, slimline ones.
Yeah, I'd say probably they're a bit of a leader in that field.
Yeah, it was about 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, maybe more. But yeah, the slimline ones are so you don't have the fat insulation at the end, so you can get into nice terminals and stuff like that. I found them a game changer back then. A good set of pliers. Now, this is a very controversial topic about whether you go cross cuts or channel locks or anything in it. For me, my advice on pliers is the Clipsal pliers. I know, really? Yeah, the Clipsal QC pliers.
Yes, with the little cutout for the cable.
The little cutout for the cable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think they're getting harder and harder to find. The last pair I bought was $95. But that's my little vice.
Yeah, right. And what do you are they the were they the orange handled ones or the green handled ones
They
from
were, now they're green.
they're green now? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, cool. It's a bit harder to. I mean, obviously, yeah, you can probably find them online quite easily, but
Yes.
generally, I'm going to go out here on a limb. You need pliers now. When you're going to buy pliers, it's not because I'll foresee I'll need them in the future. It is I need them right now. So, so the pliers. So, do you have multiple sets for different scenarios, or do you just keep? Hey, we just run with one, and then when we update.
Yeah, I run them to the ground.
Nice.
They get a good workout at WD-40 regularly.
Yeah, cool.
Especially with the weather, leave them out in the rain. It doesn't take long for them to not work well.
Rust out.
But yeah, I cutting and stripping wise, parrot beaks and pliers. They're the two I run.
Yeah.
Especially on XLPE and Circ and
Yeah,
all
nice.
that.
What other tools do you think are pretty important?
Like I said on the first one, I think my favorite tool ever is the coat hanger.
Coat hanger. I know you've said
The coat
that,
hanger.
which
Yep.
is. I'll say this has sort of inspired me to have this conversation because the coat hanger, an underutilized tool accessory. The dry cleaner coat hanger is the best coat hanger. Very soft and malleable.
Yeah.
But also
Not well insulated, but
no insulation at all.
No.
But it's very malleable. So it's that nice balance. You don't want it to be too stiff. You don't want a bucket lid. A bucket
handles too rigid.
Too rigid, too thick. Doesn't have enough malleability on it all. So the coat hanger. So we've got our screwdriver. So is there a go-to brand for the screwdriver? Let's get nitty gritty. You've got
nitty gritty.
Clipsal. So shout out to Clipsal.
That was a Clipsal, yeah.
So what about your screwdrivers? Is there a particular brand, or you're not too fussed?
I always ran the rear ones. Always. But now having multiple staff, they have rear ones. So I've gone the barcode, the orange and grey handled ones.
Yeah, barcode.
Just because they're different.
Yep.
They're different. That way, when we're on site, I know they're mine. I can just grab them and go. I don't have to go. Oh, everyone's got wheel screwdrivers, so we're not fighting over that. I honestly did look at the vessel ball ones at one stage.
Yep.
I eventually came around to getting the vessel electric screwdriver. I have one of them now.
Just a little small handle, like short handle one that you can just like...
the little round one with the thing. Yep. Got it from our mate Addicted to Tools.
Nice. Shout out.
Yep, shout out. All my staff had them, and I was like, cool. I was like, yeah, even the apprentice had one, and I was like, cool. I'm not going to get a grey one. I don't want to fit in. I was like, they're a little bit of a wanky tool, so I was like, I got mine like bright gold. I was like, I'm just going to go just bling it. But I ragged it to start off with, but I love it. I use it for everything.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so very good. Bit more control than a driver or impact drill.
Yes, and not as heavy in your pouch. So if you're doing a fit off, not as heavy in your pouch. Doesn't go well when you drop it off a ladder, but
no, most things don't go very well on a ladder.
No, I've learnt that. Mine doesn't go forward anymore, so it's time for a replacement.
Okay, cool. That's
But yeah, that's for that. What else brand wise? I'm not a stickler for brands.
Okay, that's all right.
If it works, it works.
It works, yeah. Is there any other critical tools that you sort of feel like are really, really important to have?
Obviously, you got your multimeters and that kind of stuff, but
yeah, multimeters.
I run a Fluke for that.
Yeah,
got a Fluke with the clamp. I couldn't tell you the model number. No idea.
Right. So you've got the clamp style.
The clamp style, yep.
Do you have multiple meters? So I would say most people that I know, they have the handheld meter, and then they'll step it up a notch to obviously like a multifunction, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Or I'm a little bit old school on the meter front. I've got my handheld
analog IR.
And I'm a stickler for analog IR meter. It tells you everything you need to know on that reading. It's like, is it a dead short fault? What's the type of fault? Like basically. What's occurring here? What's it telling me?
Yep. So I ran a K-back IR meter for ages,
Mm-hmm.
a digital one.
Yes.
But that it would give you a gradual reading too. So like if you held it on, it would
Mhm.
do kind of like an analog. We run Metral multifunction testers in all our cars. Can't say how often they get used, but they're in the cars. A lot, a lot of the guys have their own again analog. Analog. A lot of the guys love the analog. And yeah, but I've got my basic handheld multimeter, which comes everywhere. And then when we're doing our big commissioning tests, the Metral comes out
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
in
to
that
get
regard.
sorted. So I guess on that front there with the tool side of things, we go back to the screwdriver side of things. It's an interesting one. I was a Irizola, the orange, and I don't know if anyone or if you remember them. So they're the orange and grey handled ones. I had them for years and years and years, just because a lot of people had the Weir ones, and so obviously being yellow and red, didn't wanted to sort of be a little bit different. So I rolled with them for years, and then I can't remember what happened. I think I just naturally went to the Weir or the Crescent. I can't remember which, but they were definitely the had them for age. I think I needed them urgently on a sense. So I was like, oh, let's roll with them, and so I got them. Um, I'm a Crescent plier man. But here's an interesting, fun one, right? So at the moment, I'm rolling with Hagar pliers and Hagar screwdrivers. So they're the blue on blue ones.
Blue and orange. Yep.
And there is no reason other than I was given them from the wholesaler. No
Yep.
other reason like there's and the reason I like them is because I know they're mine. They stand, so no one else has them. They're a bit unique in that sense. I would liken the pliers to they're just channel locks. Like they're almost. I would say they're probably just rebranded in that sense. And the same with the screwdriver. And they're fine. They're getting me through. So I've got that set out at the moment, but I have my other set sort of just sitting in my tool bag.
Yeah.
As such.
I like the feel of the channel locks. I just don't like the shoulders.
Yeah, the bump stop.
The bumps. Yeah.
Stops you from getting electrocuted. Yeah,
That one.
But not working live, so it doesn't matter. So interesting. I agree with you on the Parrot Beaks. I think they're really good. I actually have a ratchet cutter as well for larger cables for XLPE or
so do we.
So larger cables to cut.
Have you seen the Milwaukee electric ones?
I have seen them. Yeah, I've used them. I don't do enough of that style of work to sort of, I guess, validate the requirement on there around it. So one thing I think is overlooked a lot of the time, and is a pet peeve of mine, is a quality tool belt.
Yes,
a quality tool belt. Whether you're using the bib and braces, whether I don't really care what you say. So it's essential. You can't be walking around, in my opinion, with a set of pliers in your back pocket and 2 screwdrivers in your back left pocket. Like, it's just not an effective way to work. And I know this is going to be argumentative, and I'll probably get screamed at, but I think a tool belt is critical to being just really good at what you do. And I think finding the right one that works for you, there's leather ones. There's your nylon bags as well now. Obviously, every brand makes them that you can think of, like your bucket one, style looking one. So there's the leather ones. There's a lot of ones made by manufacturers. There's also a lot of custom made ones, and when I say custom, they're made made by just some Australian manufacturers who specialise in that field. Then you've got your nylon bags, I think like your Jumbuck style ones, and then your Makitas and your Milwaukees and things like that. So any thoughts on a tool belt?
Tool belt. I run the obvious code tool belts
with
the big waist strap.
Yes.
And then I run 2 of their pouches. Yeah, one's a clip-on, clip-off. That's not always on my belt, and then one's their larger Sparky one.
Okay.
It's got a hammer handle, tape, all that stuff. It's pretty good size.
Yeah, nice. And then
carries a lot of stuff.
From memory.
Yeah, they're synthetic of some sort.
Synthetic of some kind of core. Yeah. So
Yeah,
okay, cool.
some sort of canvas style. And then I've got another little one that's like a tub that just clips onto my left-hand side when we're doing rough-ins, so I can put clips in and all that kind of stuff.
So just have to have some clips and ties and bits and pieces
Yeah,
associated.
I did used to run tool belts, one for rough-in, one for service.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found that good, but annoying in a way that I'd had to carry two tool bags.
Okay.
Tool belts is just the thing. I know a lot of our guys, two of our guys run beehive bags.
Mm-hmm.
One of our guys has got shoulder straps.
Yes.
Our apprentice wears overalls.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Overalls, doesn't like tool belts. So wears overalls with lots of pockets.
Yep. And has all the pieces associated.
Has all over the joint.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they didn't like I understand it, the weight all on one side, tool bag style.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, it's probably not good for your back and hips, but
No, I don't think it's good for your hips long term, and I think that's probably been proven. But yeah, there's a lot more options out there nowadays. So I think obviously your tool belt, then I think a tool bag is really important as well because it gives you the ability to change in and out the tools that you have. There's obviously you can get heaps of beehive are quite popular. There's a lot of different types of those nylon bags.
I think even Buckaroo does one now.
Yeah, a few of them now. I mean, I have one, and that's my sort of. So I sort of have my tool bag, my tool belt, and then I also have a secondary tool. Like I call it like my carry bag. It sort of just carries it gives me the ability to interchange bits and pieces around it if I need to.
I ran a backpack for a while.
Yeah, nice. I've seen a lot of guys utilize the backpack.
Mainly when I was down south when we were doing in and out of steelworks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Backpack was good because you're up and down ladders and staircases and all that, so a backpack was quite handy. I just ran a DeWalt backpack then. That's all I ran.
What about a tape measure? Would you have a preference?
I was a Stanley Fat Max.
Yes.
But again, convenience. You need a tape measure when you need a tape measure. So I'm now Milwaukee because it's what was on the wholesaler shelf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I was with Stanley Fat Max forever. The extreme with the real fat.
Yeah, I'm a Fat Max as well. I don't just have it, I guess. 8 meter, beautiful. I've got probably 3 of them. I feel.
Yeah, mine get lost. Lost. I mean, misplaced in other employees' vans.
Misplaced regularly.
Too often. Yes. So now my Milwaukee one's spray painted.
Yeah, nice. And so if we're just looking at the tool side of things, there's obviously, gone through your pliers, your screwdriver, your essentials side of things. There's lots of accessories that you can have a look at as well. Obviously, a lot of electricians, their hammer doubles as their pliers. But if you are, I would strongly
pliers doubles a hammer.
Pliers
because you ain't stripping cables with a hammer, man.
Encourage everyone to get a hammer. Obviously, it is very, very useful, very helpful. I get that part set up with it all. Test pencil. I'm a Fluke test pencil man. Always have been. Always will be. I don't know why. I think it's purely just convenient.
Fluke's done so well at branding themselves as the good one, but
yeah, it for whatever reason, it seems like the good. I will say this too, though, is that I do genuinely feel it is superior.
Do you have the standard with the white tip, or do you have the light up one?
No, I have the standard with the
white tip.
Yes.
Yeah. I tried the light up one for a while. I didn't like it.
Didn't like it? No, I think I've had that one. Not that I have them for. I have 2. I can only find one at the moment. I do know that because I know exactly where it is. But I do feel it's extremely well branded, and they've done a really good job with it. And I've just used them forever. I think I've had
mine's gone through the washing twice, and it still works.
Still works. So that's good. That's good IP rating on it.
Great IP rating.
I like
all
that.
My washing machine's trash. Either one.
Is there any other? Where do you sort of lie with the battery side of things? Do you have a brand preference?
Yes, I do have a brand preference, and I'm probably against the grain here. I've been DeWalt since birth to death, probably.
Nice.
The main reason why DeWalt is I got gifted a DeWalt set when I started my apprenticeship because that's what the company used, and that's what I've been ever since. All our guys are Milwaukee, except one. He's Bosch tools he's got. But yeah, it's all our cars are full of Milwaukee pack out. Like, I don't think there's a more variety of packing of tool stuff. So all our cars have pack out. We use pack out constantly.
Yeah.
For that kind of stuff. One of our utes is just all pack out. There's no shelves in it. It's just pack out.
Yeah. Wow.
Just because one, it's lighter and it's just easy to store stuff.
They are pretty good.
But tools, DeWalt, for your battery tools, the 18 volts, sometimes 54, depending on what it is. But yeah, that's where I've lied. Had looked at dabbling into Milwaukee, but it feels like a sin.
You feel like you're cheating?
I feel like I'm cheating, yeah. I feel like I'll no longer be in the good book.
Yeah, okay. That's okay though. That's all right. You're allowed to cheat every now and then if you feel.
It's called a hall pass, isn't it? Isn't that what it is?
It's 100%. Yeah. So I think that's interesting. I started off my my tool journey with Panasonic, and that was purely just because that's what the other guys I was working with used, and I think for whatever reason it's what we used. Went through a few incarnations of them, tried a few different other bits and pieces, but I settled on Milwaukee purely for range at the time, and just ease of getting it relationship wise at the time who I was sort of dealing with. I personally think it's fantastic. Like, I think it's great, but if I'm being honest, I think all manufacturers have come such a long way in the last decade that I don't think you can really go wrong, if I'm being honest. If my opinion on it, if for what it's worth, is just have a look at what you use and what you need it for, and then see what the range is and see what works for you. I think they're all really good.
Price is not relevant, I don't think. Obviously, don't go buying RAM set stuff and all that.
Yeah,
but
you can go nuts with Hilti.
Hilti, yeah.
Hilti and RAM set stuff. But yeah, no, I think they're all good. You know, Makita, fantastic. I've seen some really, really good stuff in that range. The DeWalt range I've seen really, really, really good as well.
Makita, for me, is always the Chippies brand.
Same. I've always I would say it's always been a carpentry.
Yeah.
DeWalt and Makita, if I'm being honest, were always sort of, I felt, was like the carpentry brand. Milwaukee, I would say, plumbers and Sparkies as well. But plumbers can be a little bit different. But yeah, I would say, yeah, for what it's worth, find out what works for you, like as in the range, and then there'll be a price point as well that may work, because they do work on different tiers. And just work what works for you. I think that you need.
There's also within that too. There's your Makita you buy at Sydney Tools is different to the Makita you buy at Bunnings.
100%. So yeah, be 100% aware. They're different codes. They look the same, but they're slightly different code.
Slightly different codes, slightly different quality, different price range.
Yes, different range on it all. So I guess there's some of the essentials around. Like, if I'm looking in a battery sense around like what's in my toolbox and one of my favorites. Like, if I'm looking at battery range, I want to have my impact. I want to have my drill driver. I got a circular saw. Angle grinder is obviously really important as well. The boombox, I think, is the most important tool in the game.
Yeah, are you the one with the radio or just the Bluetooth?
So I have old school radio.
Yeah.
I haven't graduated to the Bluetooth yet. In fairness, I don't use it probably enough. I also feel that what is it? Which part of it? The 6-way battery charger I use, and I probably can't recommend that enough to anyone to get a multi-charge station. To charge multiple batteries at once. It's really easy. Set them all up at once and you're done. One and done.
DeWalt doesn't have one.
Don't they?
Nope, they have a double charger.
Okay, so just have a double. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's interesting. Vacuum cleaners, I think, are really handy as well. And then look, I would also say, obviously, your hammer drill is fun and useful. Then you can move into the other. I think also have a look at the tool range that might be helpful in the lower voltages. So like little drill drivers,
12-volt.
the 12-volt range can be really, really helpful in that sense. But
That little 12-volt grinder in Milwaukee, oh man, that's great.
so yes, it can save.
Cutting power points in tiles and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like you can plunge the whole thing in and you're not going to go past the power point cutout.
yeah, and you're not going to. The other thing too is like it's just more control. That's what I feel like the smaller tool range has. You have more more finesse associated with it. Dexterity is probably the correct word associated around that. So
and you're not lugging big 18-volt tools up and down scaffold.
no. So there's a couple of like I guess that's just a bit of a section, around some tools and stuff. I mean, I feel like really good set of I think a really good tool belt, good set of pliers, good set of screwdrivers. The one we haven't touched on is I do believe in a really good set of side cutters. Side cutters get a really nice clean cut on cable, particularly if you're the way inclined that you mark a lot of your cables with your cuts as well. So like angle cuts, arrow cuts, crosses on the cables, nips on the cables, things like that. It really, really helps to get that side of things sorted as well with
the old school roughing markings. A good marker, a good freaking marker pen.
Sharpie.
Oh, yeah. We run the Milwaukee ones because they're from the wholesaler.
Well, again, they've got themselves in into the market.
A good white paint pen too, like a paint pen's great. Switchboards, need one of them. Ladders. What do you run ladder wise?
I'm a mix between Ladder Max and Bailey.
We're Bailey.
I've got a few ladder. I must say I'm a strong believer in Bailey. I feel, don't know if it's true or not. They just feel lighter.
They feel sturdier.
And they're easy to use. Yeah, and I just feel like they're just probably put together a little bit better. They just feel.
Yeah.
I don't feel as like. I don't think cheap's not the right word, but they just feel like they're not going to fall apart.
Yeah, we had when I was doing my apprenticeship, one of the guys working there had a red back ladder from Bunnings, like a 4-footer when the 4-footers started to become a thing. On that, we run 4-footers for everything. We don't run 3-foots anymore. Yeah. They're all 4-foots.
Yeah, same.
But we nicknamed it Brokeback because every time you lift it, you needed back surgery.
Super heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sturdy as, but just heavy.
Yeah, right. So let's now move on to and have a look at some tricks of the trade, potentially, to have a look at all time savers on site. And it's not so much about the install. I'm not too fussed about that part, but potentially things that help you do things, I guess, more effectively and save some time. So I'm going to look at, to begin with, I know you touched on it before around the tool belt side. So I'm big on job type tool belt. So I have different setups for it all. So I have a tool belt set up for rough-ins completely. And then I have our standard day-to-day. And then I also swap one out for the fit-off side of things. Now, the reason I do this is my rough-in belt is set up in a way that those tools, they get a bit of a hammering, so to speak. So they're specific there. I'm not too fussed what happens to them. So they live in their own sort of ecosystem. I also run a carpentry apron for my rough-in. I just find it a lot easier. I have a couple of add-on bits and pieces associated with it as well to sort of put bits and pieces around it. But I really enjoy that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts around any time-saving site things. Can be tool related, can be just the job related. So I've got a few more here I'll dive into, but
it all depends on what kind of work you do, really, isn't it? Like if you're domestic, you can't be lugging a big pack out box inside someone's freaking living room, can you? But if you're on, you probably could, but I don't feel like that's appropriate. You know what I mean? Wheeling the big pack out trolley into their lounge room to pull the pieces out. So on our domestic jobs, I run a bucket. Just a good old Bunnings bucket.
Buckets are great.
It's not like my
emptied every 6 to 12 months.
Hmm?
Does it get emptied every 6 to 12 months?
Oh yeah, it's like it's a good bucket when it's half rubbish
Yeah.
and half tools.
And then when you go to empty the bucket, you're like, I've been looking for these 18 drill bits for the last.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's where my Stanley is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the apprentice hates it because me and another one of our traders is the same. Our buckets is just a dumping ground of everything.
I think a bucket is really. I personally feel it's a very good habit to get into. I actually have a bucket that is just purely dedicated to rubbish.
So do I, but it ends up with tools.
I'm a big believer in clean as you go. So like access that space once. Clean as you go in a bucket's really, really handy for that sense. I do know they have foldable buckets and stuff like that on the market now as well. So like they can obviously squish down. I think, gone are the days probably of nicking the paint bucket from site and using it as your bucket.
Still do.
But hey, still can. When I say gone are the days is the need for it because you can actually just buy buckets a lot easier now.
Yeah.
Whereas
Except, mate, you can't beat the big paint ones that are like double the size.
Big paint ones. That's good. Any other? What else you got with for any things that help with the tips of the trade, the tricks of the trade that might be time saving?
Magnets. I love magnets.
Oh, magnets.
I love a magnet.
What do you got?
We've got 2 magnets that I run. The red one with the hook. Good for finding furling channels.
Yes. The good old fashioned one.
Yeah. And then I was running a big old round magnet for a while.
And what are you using it for most of the time?
Finding stud brackets, furling channel, that kind of stuff. And we used it. I had one that I've got a magnet on a stick. For when you drop a string line down a wall, if you can't get a tongue down the wall, drop a string line on the wall with a nut on the end of it.
Yeah, nut, beautiful.
To pull it out. Nothing beats a good old string line with a couple of switchboard nuts tied to the end of it down a cav. But yeah, there's some magnets. Magnets are a good thing. What else? Oh, I got a ferret camera the other day.
Yeah, cool.
I've had that for about 18 months now.
Yeah. Does it has a light on the end of it too, so it lights up?
The light on the end of it, the stick, and the Bluetooth to your phone or whatever. The Wi-Fi is to your phone.
Yep, somehow communicates. Yeah, through
wizardry.
Technology, yeah, the wizardry now that it is.
Yeah,
that's right. I've got a couple here that I think are really. They're not tool related. They're just tricks of the trade that I feel is helpful. One of them is labeling of cables. So label it 3 times. Because labeling it once is not enough. So label it 3 times, up the bit of cable. The other one is label and tape over, particularly the end. So what I'm saying here is that like if it's absolutely critical to life in the sense that we need to know exactly what this is and the 3 isn't, if it's going to be enough. A lot of the time here is it's painted. So we're talking about when it's going to be painted over. Is it so label the N1 and tape over it, so that you can undo it. Then you've got it sorted that particular way. Just generally speaking, because in those senses, generally where something's getting painted, you may label it multiple times, but the length of the cable doesn't allow you any grace, so to speak. Whereas if I'm hauling in cable on cable tray or into a switchboard or something like that, I've got the grace of a few meters of cable to be looking at in the future. So I really think labeling, when you're labeling too, pen, you touched on it before, you've got to use a paint pen on an XLPE cable, use it, right? So go with that. Don't just rely on the trusty old Nico and a bit of white tape. If you leave it there and it sits in the sun, it will rub off, and then you will be regretting that.
Yep.
The other thing too is your rainbow roll of tape when you're pulling in mains.
Red, white, blue, baby.
Like label them, like invest in that rainbow roll. I cannot, like the amount of times I've seen like the 1, 2, 3 stripes for like ABC or red, white, blue.
Yeah, and then the third stripe falls off the number 3, and you've got 2 2s, and you've got.
Yeah, we're not going. Did we? Yeah, it sort of becomes a bit of a a bit of a, I guess, hassle, I suppose, at the end of the
Mhm.
day.
And then, do you do the double tape, single tape method on rough-ins? So, like, double tape means outlet's completely finished, no more cables to be added. Single tape just holds it together and says it's not completed.
Okay.
So when you're
Yeah.
doing a rough-in, like you're looping between power points or light switches or whatever, if you've got like a light switch with like 6 switch tails coming in, you do one tape until it's completely done, like if you're walking away from that light switch to hold it all there. And then double tape, like two rings of tape, means outlet's completely finished.
100% the double tape. I think it's underutilized.
And then that way you can just visually check as you walk around. Okay, single tape, or double tape, that's done.
Yeah, it's a really, really good way. Another tip here is that the allocate a particular colored tape to your apprentice or to apprentices, and then you can identify what work they have done. So you know you need to check. So like, I'm not going to tell you what system to use in that sense because different people want different scenarios. Different things will work for different people, but it could be like, hey, the tradie does black, for example, and then you can allocate a color to a particular apprentice. It's a really good way to work to understand what works and what doesn't work.
We do that. We also have done, haven't done recently, but have done different color tapes per circuit.
Yeah, right.
So when you're roughing in a house, L1's red, L2's white. And then that way you can just when you're fitting off and testing, if you leave one roll, like one tape on it, when it goes back in the wall, you can pull it out and instantly see what circuits is on without labeling.
Nice. I like that. I like them. They're pretty good ones. I also like to rock 2 drills at a time, in the sense of having 2 drills ready so that you're not continually interchanging all the time. So it could be one drill is utilizing with the hole saws, for example, and the other drill you're using just with your tech tip, so to speak, or Phillips driver on there, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes that can obviously just help, so you're not continually interchanging all the time.
Do you run 2 drills, or do you run like an impact and a drill?
I'm a drill guy.
Drill guy. I see. I'm an impact.
If I'm being honest, but I'm open to it all. If I'm being perfectly honest, but yeah, I prefer just I feel like I get a bit more control over the drill side of things. That's just me personally, but also have an impact as well.
Yeah, I find the big drill sometimes just gets a bit heavy and awkward under cabinets.
Yeah, fair call. But I think having multiple drills can make life a lot easier. So less interchanging around it all. One here to want to look at is associated with your drill bits. So your whatever you're using, multi bits and pieces. Get some kind of organization associated with that so that they're on you all the time. Whether it's the adapters that come just on like a carabiner clip, so you can have them interchangeable in there, or you have a kit that sits with you in your tool bag that has all the bits and pieces that you need. Come up with something that works for you, because there's nothing worse than going backwards and forwards a million times looking.
I run the carabiner with the quick release ones.
Yes, I think they're a really, really good one too.
Yeah. You get good quality carabiner, like the clips, the quick release clips, because the cheap ones, you lose bits.
Yeah. I think they're really, really important to have that gear. It makes a massive, I think, and like you said, a good quality one makes a massive difference, and then you carry all the bits and pieces that you need.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think the last one that I wanted to touch on here, I think some tricks of the trade or tips of the trade is the old, I'd rather be looking at it than looking for it. And so that philosophy applies. And I'm not saying you need to leave a kilometre of cable associated with it. But the understanding that you would rather be looking at it than looking for it. And I think this applies to everything. So just mark out really well. So if you're looking on the floor, there's meant to be insert item here, PowerPoint, light switch, light, whatever it is. It's meant to be here. So if it can't physically be seen, what can I do to find it in an easy manner? Obviously, cable. Am I leaving enough length? Like, there's nothing worse than not having enough on there. Bearing in mind too that insulation might still need to go on, things like that. So the cable can still move or be adjusted slightly. So you don't want the bare minimum associated with it. And then the other thing around that is for future allowance. So like, hey, this structure's not built yet, or final location is that it is depending on the type of cable that you're using and what the install process is. Use your best knowledge that you have on hand to get the right outcome. You know what I mean? Because it's going to cause all sorts of dramas if it's not done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to say there, Joey?
I was going to say, when you're marking out floors on like new rough-ins and renos and stuff like that, especially if it's 2-story and it's timber, like particle board or whatever, we go and mark our downlights and put a screw in the floor.
Yeah.
So we can shoot our lathes straight up from the center of the fills.
Nice.
Fit on the screw. Pull them out once you're done, because otherwise the floor sander hates you. Or anything like that. And then if it's concrete, you do a little 5mm, give it in the concrete, spray it. Then you can just shoot your laser straight up.
Yep. All the hard work's been done.
All the hard work's done. So cut out, fit off is just quick.
Yes, I agree. One thing I don't see enough of anymore, and I understand lasers are around a lot more, but I do love a dirty chalk line down the center of a long hallway or a grid space that I need to do. You would be surprised how effective it is. And
do you do it on the ceiling?
Yeah, flick it on the ceiling. Yeah, flick it on the ceiling. You would be surprised if you're setting up any grids or large spaces, how much time you save, and you're not worried about trying to line lasers up, going up and down and things like that. So literally just marking it around, flick, 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 and away you go. I remember I was working with one of my tradies once around that, and he's sort of, I'm not going to say his mind blew. He was just like, oh my God, that was so easy. And you're like, yeah. And what you'll find often too is that you pick up a lot of intersections along the way. So as you're doing it, you're actually marking out as you go. I just think it's really, really helpful, particularly like if you want to line everything up, then there's no excuse for it not to be lined up. And then you're doing a favor for everyone else as well. If you're the first person. So like, if there's fire guys coming through and things like that, they'll just pick up off that. And it looks, aesthetically, I think it looks amazing. Because nothing...
You don't have the hazard of the apprentice kicking the laser halfway through marking out either.
100%, yeah. So that's just probably a few thoughts around that.
I don't know how many times, because my laser's got a magnet on the back.
Yes.
How many times you flick a tape measure past it and it throws the laser line out?
Pulls it out, yep.
And then if you don't pick it up, you've got downlights that are slowly leaning towards the architrave.
Yeah. Oh, you could go about this forever. Want to finish on a some DIY disasters you've come across and what you've sort of seen in your time. So what have you had to fix up? What have you been involved in that you've seen someone have a crack at doing something themselves and it's become a bit of...
I've seen a light circuit running Fig 8, the whole house. No earth, just running Fig 8.
Beautiful. Back to where was it picking up its supply from? Can you remember?
So it was a Renault extension done by the owner.
Yes.
So it went to a light point, and then from there it went Figure 8.
Cool. So just 240 bang straight on.
240 straight through the Figure 8. Good old
no earth needed.
0.75 speaker cable.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in the day of 50-watt halogen downlights, not LEDs. Just to put that in perspective.
Wow.
And wondered why his lights stopped working. But anyway, that's one I've seen. What else have I seen? Oh, we had one the other way. It's not DIY, but we had an incident where the sarking on the whole house got live.
Okay.
Because the kitchen guys disconnected the power point and just jammed it in the wall.
How good?
Yep, touch and sarking. Wasn't live, and then a tongue got thrown in the wall, and then obviously bumped it because no one knew it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Bumped it and was touching the sarcasm, and the sarcasm became live.
Yeah, wow. Did it? Yeah, okay. That's mind blowing.
That wasn't DIY. That was just lazy kitchen guys. But,
Yes.
not lazy, dodgy kitchen guys is probably the correct word.
Dodgy.
DIY otherwise.
I've got one where we had a portion of the lighting circuit wired in extension leads.
Yep. I've seen power boards to do downlights, that kind of stuff.
Extension leads. I've also seen a portion of the lighting wired just in flex. So there's whether it was an extension lead or not, you'll never know because the ends were cut off on it, but it was joined, which that was pretty wild. I've also seen lighting circuits. Not that it's just dodgy. Wide in orange circular, which I can't quite figure out why it was done that particular. I'm assuming they had some scrap from somewhere and they picked it up.
It's probably better than TPS, but expensive.
Yeah, no, well, like it's not
dodgy. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like it's probably, but it was all really weird joint. It was just home, like very, very, very rough, and like the earth just floating in space, basically. Probably one of the wildest ones I've ever seen was a set of submains running from a residential property to an outside building. So I think it was the shed from memory. Was run from the main switchboard in the house through the ceiling out to a wall. It was all run in building wire. So just a black, a red, and an earth, just chilling through the ceiling.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, that I've seen that's rather common. I've seen that for consumer mains. Yeah,
wow. Okay.
We had one recently where it was builders, 6 mil builders running through the ceiling.
Awesome.
Yep, for consumer mains.
No problems.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some classic, because living out regional, probably less in the city, but regional back of farms and stuff like that, people don't like to pay electricity bills because they're growing crops that aren't taxable. So I've seen the best one I've ever seen, to be honest with you, is someone's just got HSCs, pulled it out of the meter with HSCs. So that's the best I've ever seen. That's like as safe as you could get. Just pulled it out of the meter and just HSC connected, so big weatherproof BPs, pretty much. And then the other ones I've seen is a nail straight through the mains and a bit of wire coming off.
Uninsulated, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The nail, yeah.
Yeah, no, that goes in like left uninsulated.
Yeah, left uninsulated, just at diagonals from each other.
It's a well-timed first hammer blow, isn't it? I'll hold the nail and I'll hit it and I'll let go just at the right time.
Yeah, you'd want to have one of those hammers with a little magnetic tip where you can just...
Or just maybe they gloved up. I mean, had all the safety gear and all that sort of stuff. Maybe
Possibly.
they got a bucket potentially.
Another one I saw was actually the first job ever as an apprentice. We were going to a property that was getting demoed for a big housing estate, like big property. House was abandoned. We had to disconnect it. And we opened up the switchboard and there's a set of pliers welded to the comms mains. So someone had tried to, like obviously they flogged the electricity inside the cable cover inside the house. But yeah, there was a set of pliers welded to the comms mains.
That's insane.
Yep. So that will always stick with me. That's like, yeah, cool. Let's try and flog electricity, but come on.
That's that's crazy.
I wonder how many beers it took to get in the courage to do that.
Yeah. Well, the mind boggles, and then the thing is they've survived it as well. So like that's probably
there was no shoes on the ground, so they did.
That's the more remarkable sort of side of it there. So anyway, interesting. Well, Joey, thanks for joining me and having a bit of a bit of a light-hearted conversation, I guess, to finish off with a few funny yarns along the way. But happy sparkying out there to everyone. Love to hear any thoughts on tools or any preferences or any stories you've got or any tricks of the trade or anything like that. Feel free to jump on our socials and share away or comment below in the comment section wherever you're listening to or wherever you're watching to. Have a great day, whatever you're up to. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next time on the next pod. So thanks very much. We'll catch you next time, Joey. Cheers.
See you, mate. Cheers.
That's a wrap on another podcast. Whatever you're doing, don't be too busy to stop and check if you're making money. And above all else, you know the rules. Be kind. See you soon.